My name is Ted Hulsy. I'm Vice President of Marketing at eFolder and your host for today's webinar. Welcome to the eFolder Expert Series. This webinar series brings together experts from eFolder's staff and partner community for deep dive discussions on key service, technical, and marketing topics. Today's presentation is Selling New Services to Clients, Introducing the Cloud Finder Client Awareness Playbook. Today we are joined by Neeraj Periwal, Marketing Coordinator at eFolder. Let's first cover a few housekeeping items before we go into today's agenda. Today's session is being recorded. The recorded version of the webinar will be made available on eFolder's YouTube channel. We will also make copies of the slides available to those who registered for the event. With over 185 people registered for today's session, we have put all participants in listen-only mode. You can enjoy the audio portion of today's event by either streaming it on your computer or by dialing in over the phone. Today's webinar follows a logical flow. After introducing Niraj, our guest, we will begin by reviewing some of the challenges that partners face in terms of selling new services to clients. We will then provide an overview of the sales funnel in order to inform partners which marketing strategies they should use to target prospects and existing clients alike, and share some best practices when it comes to marketing and selling. After this, we will look at the big market forces that are transforming the cloud and technology landscape and dive into an overview of eFolder Cloud Finder, a cloud-to-cloud backup solution designed for MSPs and VARs. Niraj will then walk us through the Cloud Finder Client Awareness Playbook, a comprehensive guide for partners to introduce and market cloud-to-cloud backup services to their clients. Questions are strongly encouraged throughout. We have planned a special Q&A section at the end of today's discussion, but you may submit them as we go along, and we will try to address your questions on the fly. Now let me introduce Niraj. Neeraj Periwal has been working at eFolder as a marketing coordinator since last August. As our marketing coordinator for eFolder's channel marketing program, Niraj manages the creation and curation of numerous marketing assets such as white papers, playbooks, competitive documents, partner presentations, brochures, and blogs. Niraj has a passion for technology and marketing. Prior to joining eFolder, Niraj interned at an ad agency in Los Angeles doing digital marketing for the Jack in the Box account. Niraj graduated with a degree in global business administration last year from the USC's Marshall School of Business. Niraj, thanks for joining us and welcome.
Thank you for having me, Ted.
Okay, so let's kind of talk. What I'm going to do first is just kind of share, some of the challenges we hear partners explaining all the time in terms of how to grow their revenue, how to do marketing, how to invest in marketing. Our goal as a company is to arm our partners with canned marketing resources and tools that make marketing a lot easier for our partners. It doesn't completely eliminate your contributions and the work and effort you and your team need to do, but we try to arm partners with a whole library of canned resources, and we call these playbooks. Introducing our fourth playbook in just about 2 weeks here around business continuity, but we've got 3 different playbooks out in the market today, and today we're spending time talking about the playbook that's focused on the cloud-to-cloud backup market. And with a lot of solutions like business continuity, BDR, even backup, and cloud-to-cloud backup and file sync, in all these categories, there's a ton of education that you need to do with your clients. Even if you're taking the approach, in our view, of bundling in a certain capability for every managed services client, you and your staff need to be in a position to educate the client on how you're driving value. What problems are you solving? How is the client going to benefit? How are you ensuring higher levels of uptime, resiliency, security, and productivity for the client? All of these things are necessary, and there's a host of different ways to do the education. If you're doing it one-on-one and in person, that's selling. If you're doing it with emails, blogs, social media, webinars, lunch and learns, that's marketing. And what we're doing today is going to share with you some tools to help you go out and have this particular conversation. But the challenges partners share with us all the time on the marketing front is there's not enough time, there's not enough resources. Sometimes relationships with your vendors aren't good enough, and oftentimes partners don't have a dedicated marketing person. And so this is the reality I think most of our partners are faced with today, and so that's why we're cranking out these playbooks, and we're introducing a new one every quarter throughout 2015. And it's a really great library of resources so that you can solve the time problem. You don't need to necessarily hire somebody to do all of your marketing. But that being said, we do, any partner organization where you've got 2, 3, 4, 5 salespeople on staff that are actually carrying quotas, it's really time to consider adding a full-time marketing resource to your staff. Because if you've cracked the code on sales, the minute you've got a good, effective, and professional sales team, they're going to be asking you, well, where are my leads? And if you're not doing systematic marketing, that's going to be a hindrance to your overall sales effort. Now, when we talk to partners about how to drive growth, there's really, 3 legs to the stool, if you will, or there's a couple different options. First and foremost, we are big believers in focusing on your base. When I talk to partners about how to grow their sales effort, I always ask them, are you trying to hire a hunter or a farmer? And my advice oftentimes is really focus on mastering farming your base before you try to go hunt new clients. Existing clients, you've got the relationships, you've got the loyalty, you've got the brand name recognition, you understand intimately what their network and their IT infrastructure deployment looks like, and therefore you can really go in there and have productive conversations. If you're not yet doing QBRs, you've got to start doing QBRs or quarterly business reviews or periodic meetings with existing clients. Whatever you call them, you need to do them. And if you're not doing them, you probably are not doing them because you haven't yet invested in a sales resource to go out and coordinate that effort. It takes time to cajole and wrestle time away from a client for them to really focus on the future and focus on getting things better. But if you are having conversations with your clients about how to make things better, how to make their employees more productive, more secure, more agile, you're going to find new revenue streams. And, we talk to partners all the time about services like cloud-to-cloud backup or file sync, and they say, well, how do I sell this? And it's around educating your clients on the risks they face and the opportunities they have ahead of themselves to better protect their businesses. So huge opportunities are there for upsell, cross-sell, and expanding existing relationships. And just like with selling, you've got to do a ton of marketing to your existing base. You've got to be, the tools we're going to share with you on today's webinar are tools that can allow you to really project expertise and thought leadership to your clients. You want them thinking anytime they have a technology question, anytime they have a business challenge that could be potentially solved by technology, you want them thinking, I need to call Joe, my computer guy. And that's the terms they use. They don't really say my managed service provider. They think you guys, they think of, you want to be much more than that. You want to be their virtual CIO. You want to be their trusted advisor. But you have to do installed base marketing to drive into their minds that this positioning of your organization as the expert. And hopefully a lot of the tools we're going to supply you today are free and freely available to eFolder partners to use. Now, that being said, the other way to drive growth, of course, is new clients. And the vast majority of eFolder partners go out there today with kind of a bundled managed services offering. And certainly cloud-to-cloud backup is a service offering we think will become a table stake, a standard component of every managed services contract. As you move more and more clients to things like Office 365, as clients adopt niche applications, like Box or like Salesforce for certain front office functions, you have to provide backup and continuity for those applications as well. And there's a huge managed services opportunity for cloud-based applications. So a lot of things, it's all about taking your managed services bundle and adding more and more capabilities, which allows you to increase the price over time to your existing clients, and then when you win new contracts to really attract a really good monthly recurring revenue stream per user, and it has to be a robust bundle. And then, of course, there's a lot of MSPs who reach a point where they say, look, I want to get to a higher level of growth. I want to grow more than 10% a year. I want to grow at 20% a year or 25% a year. And if you're doing that, you really got to expand the range of clientele you would take on. In our view, this is our opinion, of course, but we're in a privileged position to be able to talk to 2,600 different MSPs throughout the world and how they're dealing with growth. But a lot of our high growth MSP partners follow kind of a wedge strategy. Say, take business continuity or BDR as an example. They say, look, we know there's tons of clients out there who have particular acute specific pain in this one solution area, and we want to go out and find those accounts, sell them a BDR service as a point solution, and use that as a wedge to get at the rest of their IT stack. So in our view, these are the three really simplified and key ways that MSPs can go out there and drive revenue. And in every case, marketing plays a role. And marketing has a role to play in driving this sort of sales and product strategy. So let's just talk a little bit about some of our views of how to, we'll call it marketing 101, but it's important to think about these things, we think, because it'll drive where you use certain content in the process. But if you kind of simplify the marketing and selling process to its most fundamental, the clients, they're on a buying journey. It's very rare that it's greenfield. There's often pain. You have companies out there that are either in acute pain around one area or they're in generalized pain about their current situation. Their current situation may involve another MSP who's doing a poor job, who's not responsive, who doesn't close tickets quickly, who doesn't return phone calls quickly, who doesn't serve the needs of the workforce at the client well. These guys are in generalized pain. And then you've got a whole host of clients out there that may be suffering in one area or another, either in security or business continuity or file collaboration and mobile productivity. But what you want to be doing is you want to have a layered approach where you're doing a certain amount of education at the top of the funnel, a certain amount of tactics that are really taking all those people you're educating and bringing them down the funnel, and then of course you're generating qualified leads from those promotional efforts that become the people you actually sell to. Who are the people your quota-carrying sales team will attack? Want to encourage you as we go along here to ask questions. I'm not seeing any questions yet in the Q&A log, so please hit me up with your questions. So at these various stages in the funnel, there's different tools that are available. In terms of educational marketing, things like social media, things like blogging, routine emails like your house newsletter, or periodic kind of alerts you may send to your clients. It's a great idea to, as an example, keep up on current events, and when there's a current event, when there's a security breach, when there's another crypto locker infection, when there's a hack of LastPass, whatever it may be, put out an alert to your clients to show them that, hey, you are at the cutting edge. You are keeping your finger on the pulse of where these markets are going, and you are their trusted advisor. So this is your educational marketing effort, and a lot of the tools that Niraj is going to share with you in a couple minutes are tools you can weave right into this part of the funnel. We've got a lot of partners that are doing a great job of just copy-pasting eFolder content that we've supplied them into the blog, taking our white papers in Microsoft Word, boom, dropping their logo on it, PDFing it, and using it in their marketing efforts. Same goes for emails. One of the biggest challenges of doing a house newsletter is content, content, content. And here we're going to supply you with canned content that you can drop right into your emails in segments or in whole cloth. And then at the next layer is really promoting and then selling. And when you're at the promote stage, you need PowerPoint presentations for the lunch and learn. You need, brochures to take with you to certain trade shows you may go to. You might need, short form product descriptions to go into your on hold. If you do on hold messaging on your telephone queues, all of this is kind of a promotional effort around certain solution areas. And then, of course, your salespeople need the tools to actually lay on the table and have productive conversations with existing clients or prospects. So before kind of switching gears and turning the reins over to Niraj here, just a couple final pieces of advice. From our experience in working with partners, the name of the game today is to be useful and educational to your prospects. It's buyers are on a journey, and the buyer is in control. This is not a world where people can be sold. Most prospects are going to have done a ton of education on their own, using the web, all the resources at people's disposal to find out about their options. And you need to be out there. You need, for your brand, most MSPs are working in a localized marketplace, but your clients are going to be online. And you need to form that brand presence locally, but you also need to form that brand presence online. And most importantly, you need to really position yourself as an expert and as a thought leader to embellish your brand and get that awareness. And it's really, cold calling doesn't work. Anything will work if you put enough effort into it. But the reality is most companies today do not have the resources to cold call prospects. You can intelligently prospect. You can spend time on LinkedIn. You can make sure you've identified all of the key accounts in your target market in the local service radius where you're hunting. But you really want to warm up those accounts and build your brand presence with educational materials, and then have a whole host of different programmatic things you would do to engage with them. Things like lunch and learns, hitting trade shows in your target market, whatever verticals you may be servicing, webinars. You've got to really, webinars, let me make an aside here. A lot of partners, don't connect the dots on webinars. They think, well, why do webinars? How many people can I get online for a webinar? And the reality is, if you can get more than 2 or 3, then you're winning, because you're not having a one-on-one conversation, you're having a one-to-many conversation. Today, we had 185 people registered for the webinar, and there's 66 of you joining me today. And let's not be mysterious about it. When eFolder does webinars, we're educating our partners, but we're also doing marketing, of course, right? So we just would encourage you to do the same and to lean on the resources and expertise we can help bring to the table to help you do that. And then provide, real genuine advice like you always do in terms of your engagements. So with that, what I want to do is make Niraj the presenter and turn it over to him and give him an opportunity to share some of the insights we have around moving to the cloud and the need for cloud-to-cloud backup, and give you a live tour of the Cloud Finder playbook that we've released. Niraj, take it away.
All right. Well, thank you so much for that intro, Ted. I hope you're able to see my screen. Let me know if you're not. So what we're going to really be talking about today, now that Ted has talked about the importance of sales and marketing, is what kind of new services are available to our partners to market and sell to their clients. And, last July, eFolder purchased a company called Cloud Finder, which produces a cloud-to-cloud backup service. And, we believe that the cloud is fundamentally important to the future of the computing landscape. We know that small businesses are moving to the cloud. It's not a secret anymore. It's not something that nobody knows anymore. And really the reason is because these cloud applications have now become sophisticated enough that many businesses find them useful for their day-to-day work. Whether it's collaborating with other people in the office, outside the office, or whether it's keeping track of all their sales and marketing data in something like Salesforce. The statistic right here, 80% of businesses have reported using some form of SaaS application in their organization. It makes it pretty clear. And for MSPs, it's really important to note how much public cloud growth is really, having an impact. I mean, look at this chart. It's 44% growth in public cloud services and only less than 9% for on-premises service growth. And, when you think about it, a small business is definitely going to prefer using something like Office 365 over an on-premises Exchange server. So, the question is now, how can MSPs really take advantage of this move to the cloud? And one thing that we've really observed is that even though the cloud is really great in terms of ensuring uptime, reducing outages and that kind of thing, because Microsoft, Google, Salesforce, and bots, among many, have really robust servers, the problem is that data loss is still a reality in the cloud. And the reason is simple. Users are going to be users. And in the cloud, where, a lot of backup and restoring features are not there built in to a lot of the cloud applications, the result is that a lot of users are facing loss of their data due to running entirely in the cloud and not having a backup system in place. A Symantec report in 2013 said that 40% of companies have lost data in the cloud, and that's a pretty startling statistic, and I think something that every MSP really needs to pay attention to. So when businesses like your clients adopt applications, there are really two challenges that we face. One is that businesses face data loss, data fragmentation, and compliance violations. And the reason is simply because if there isn't a backup system in place for the cloud applications, then data can be easily lost. And as more cloud applications are being used by businesses, data kind of gets spread around everywhere. You may have, one document in Google Drive, another Excel document in OneDrive for Business. You may have a pricing sheet somewhere in Salesforce, and obviously there's a need to be able to have all of that data backed up and under one roof. And when it comes to IT channel partners, like all of our partners that we serve, when their businesses move to the cloud, the issue is that a lot of the on-premises growth from services like backup and BDR aren't really, the customers don't really take that up to the cloud. And so the MSPs are really facing the challenge of how do I replace these traditional revenue streams with new revenue streams. And our answer to that is that you introduce eFolder Cloud Finder, which is a cloud-to-cloud backup service to your clients. Now, looking at this picture here, we think it really makes kind of the value proposition quite clear. So when you combine Cloud Finder with these SaaS applications, Office 365, Google Apps, Salesforce, and bots, then you really add a lot of different capabilities to these cloud apps. So you not only have, things like backup, search, restore, and reporting, but when you combine the two, you've got really important things. You've got a second site backup for all of that cloud data in a eFolder tamper-proof safe haven. And you've also got the ability to search across all of your cloud services. I mean, as I mentioned earlier, you may have one document in one cloud repository and another document somewhere else. And it's important for your clients to be able to quickly find what they need without having to go through all the hassle of opening each one and figuring out where everything is. And when it comes to data that's been deleted, it's really important to be able to restore that data really quickly when you need to. And CloudFinder offers that capability as well. We've got point-in-time restores, which are really great because they're really flexible. You know, admins can obviously restore, let's say, a document deleted from OneDrive back to OneDrive. But what CloudFinder offers is also the ability to restore data back to any service or back to any user. So let's just say, for example, one of your small businesses has an Office 365 deployment, and one of your employees named John gets hired. Now, John had a lot of documents in his OneDrive, which are so needed by the company. So what that company would do then, if they have CloudFinder available, is simply go into the CloudFinder interface, find all the documents that belong to John, and restore them back to, say, Jane, who still works at the company. So it's really easy to do point-in-time restores with CloudFinder. And finally, CloudFinder gives you real corporate data governance, which is really important in terms of compliance, to know where all the data is, and to ensure that, you know, it's always safe and always kind of under one roof. So CloudFinder, what's really great about it is that we've built in support right now for the 4 major leading cloud services. You know, the vision for CloudFinder is that we really want to back up almost any kind of SaaS data. And right now we're focusing on the 4 main ones. And these are, of course, Office 365, Google Apps, Salesforce, and Box. And you can see on this slide that the amount of data that CloudFinder can back up is pretty impressive. We not only back up, you know, simple things like emails and files, but things like attachments, metadata. In terms of Salesforce, you get standard objects and custom objects. So we really tried to be thorough with the kind of things that we back up. And I guess, you know, it's really important to emphasize why it's so important to have multi-service support. And the reason is that many of your clients are using more than one of these cloud applications. You know, just for example, I'll give the example of eFolder. We use Office 365 for our own email, and, you know, we also use Salesforce for all our sales and marketing materials and all our, you know, customer information. And so for us to be able to back all of that data up under one roof is really important. And we think your clients are really going to benefit from that as well. So when it comes to retail packaging and pricing, we have really strived to make it a really easy selling point for our partners. And so we suggest a variety of different pricing and packaging options. You know, what you could do as an MSP is sell CloudFinder as an unmanaged service, and we suggest something around the figure of $3 per user per month, and this is per cloud service. So let's say a user is using both Office 365 and Salesforce, then as an unmanaged service, you can deploy that. You can deploy CloudFinder for $6 for that user. You can also manage it, you know, really make it, bundle it as a part of your managed services. And, you know, you could do something like $4 per user per month, in which you manage all of the deployment, all of the searching, all of the restoring on your end, and make yourself the admin. And alternatively, an MSP can really take CloudFinder and make it a bundled approach. So they can really make it a part of their managed service portfolio and say, hey, we're going to give you, we're going to just deploy Office 365 to you, handle all the setup, all the deployment to all of your users. And, in addition to whatever else we offer you, like business-grade file sync, we'll also ensure that your Office 365 data is backed up and, restorable if needed. And what this allows MSPs to do is it allows them to kind of build it all in one and to make sure that they can adjust the pricing as needed. So at renewal time, you can say, hey, now that we're also building in this backup and restore feature in addition to your cloud deployment, we're going to charge you a little bit extra every year to give you all of those new capabilities. So now that we've kind of walked through what CloudFinder is, what it does, and the services it backs up, I want to go back to what Ted mentioned about the importance of sales and marketing. Here at eFolder, we really strive to make sales and marketing really simple for all of our partners. We recognize that many of you don't have a dedicated marketing person, and while we believe you absolutely should, we really want to help out anyone who is interested in selling something like this to your clients and doing it with as little hassle as possible. So one of the recently produced playbooks that we created is called the CloudFinder Client Awareness Playbook, which is all about introducing a cloud-to-cloud backup service to your clients. And what I'm going to do now is kind of walk you through our playbook to really show you how rich it is, how many different kinds of sales and marketing tools we give you, and how simple it makes selling cloud-to-cloud backup to your clients. So let me go ahead and open up the playbook here. So it really starts with kind of a welcome message. And then we give you a guide as to how do we envision you actually using the playbook. And this may be familiar to you if you've seen our Anchor Client Awareness Playbook or our Dropbox Problem Playbook. But we basically have a kind of a 3-section layout. So initially, at the top, we have a big picture of the asset, so you know what you're looking at. And then we have the title of the asset. And then we have a 2 to 3 sentence description on how we suggest you use the provided asset. And then we finally provide you with a variety of different formats for that asset, such as a eFolder branded one and a partner brandable one. And as I walk you through kind of the different assets that are in the playbook, I think you'll get a better idea of, what these different formats are. So looking at the table of contents, Ted earlier alluded to the sales cycle and kind of the funnel that your clients go through. And we've tried to structure our CloudFinder Client Awareness Playbook into those same 3 sections. So we've got an educate section, which is really focused on telling your clients why they need cloud-to-cloud backup and how it works and what it is. Then we've got a promote section where, okay, they're aware of cloud-to-cloud backup. Now the question is, how do you promote it to them? How do you really make them need it? And then finally, the sales section is for when your salespeople have really gotten the attention of these clients and they really want to put something right there on the table in front of them and be able to show them the benefits and show them kind of why they ought to adopt a cloud-to-cloud backup service. So I'm going to kind of walk you through a few of these assets. And my goal is to really show you how easy we make it for our partners. So I'm going to walk you through, an email that we have about important facts about moving to the cloud. Now, as we say here, we talk about the importance of the safety and security of cloud data, and we really want you to be able to send out this email to your clients and really simply explain, what are the important facts about moving to the cloud. So what happens when you click on this document here is it takes you to our sync tool, where we have, the ability to download right here the doc version of the asset. So all you do is you literally hit download and go ahead and open it. And we'll give it a second to open the file. And right here we can see how easy we've made it. So we literally highlight everywhere where you as a partner need to change, the client's name, or, where should you put the hyperlink to the white paper, and then, even where should you put your signature line. And, we really try to make it as simple as possible to send out this email. So you edit these fields, you cut and paste it into Outlook or into your preferred, email marketing program, and boom, you go ahead and send it to your clients, and that's really all you need to do for that email. And what we've done is we've paired every email with an asset. So in this case, when we talk about the importance of the safety and security of your cloud data, we paired it with a white paper called 3 Little Known Risks Associated with Leading Cloud Services. And again, here we've made it really easy for you. So what we have here are 2 versions of the white paper. We've got an eFolder branded version, and you can see the screenshot of that right here, where we got the eFolder logo and the text here. And then we have a doc version of it where it's brandable by our partners. So I'll go ahead and click that again, go to Sync Tool. And here when you hit download and you go ahead and open it, then let's wait a sec for it to open. Again, we make it incredibly simple for you to go ahead and brand this white paper with your own logo, with the date that you're sending it out. We've got the whole white paper outlined here. You don't have to write anything. You don't really have to put work into creating the white paper yourself. We've done all that work and all of that research for you. And we highlight the name of the product here. So, we really focus on our partners being able to rebrand our services with your name or even your client's name. And then again, at the end, you can see that we've done our research. We have the footnote right there, and in the footer, you can put your own logo, your own corporate information, and go ahead and send it off to your client. So now I'm going to show you kind of an email and white paper. Again, we have more emails, more white papers for you. I want to move on to kind of my personal favorite part of the CloudViper Client Awareness Playbook, which is the Cloud Retention Policy Guide. And the Retention Policy Guide is really a one sheet that is simply an informational overview of the retention policies of all of the cloud applications that CloudFinder backs up. And I'm going to go ahead and open up the brandable version here for you, just to show you how easy it is to show to your client. So, again, I'll click the Enable Editing button here. We make it real simple. Again, we've got a place to put your own logo. We've done all the research here in terms of what the different retention policies are, divided by the different sections of the cloud applications. So for Office 365, we've delineated what the retention is for SharePoint Online, for Exchange Online, for OneDrive for Business, and then, for Salesforce, for Google Apps, when it comes to Gmail and Google Drive, and for bots. And what makes this really powerful is that I think when you send it to your client, you're not going to see it as a very salesy kind of asset because it's very informational. It's just a way to kind of get the conversation going without you having to really necessarily sell them on a cloud-to-cloud backup service necessarily. And from there, you can really have that conversation with them. So again, we've got another email, another diagram. When it comes to promotion, we've done different things to help you promote cloud-to-cloud backup. We've got short and long product descriptions that you can put on your website, you can put in your marketing literature, wherever you want. We've even got blogs, canned blogs, where we've written all of the material. You can download the Word doc and literally copy paste it into your blog, onto your website, wherever you really have kind of short form content to share with your client. And then we've got an on-hold phone script. For those of you who don't already have a phone, an on-hold system, we believe it's a really great way for you to quickly market to your clients when you've already got them on the phone and while they're waiting to actually speak to you. So we've got these really short blurbs that we make it really easy for you to leverage. And finally, in the promote section, we've got product screenshots. So, here I'll just quickly show you what this looks like. Go ahead and open the PowerPoint right there. So we've got both kind of no call out version and an annotated version of each of these screenshots. I'll go ahead and show this to you real quick. So we've got a caption right here kind of explaining what it is. You can see here in the search, screenshot, we've got the different filters that you or your clients can apply whenever they're trying to look for a specific email or document or whatever it is that's been deleted. And again, it's really simple for you to simply copy paste these images into your marketing materials and show your clients what does the product really look like. And then finally we come to selling. Now we've got 4 versions of the brochure for CloudFinder. The reason being that we offer obviously CloudFinder for 4 different cloud applications. And again, we've got an eFolder branded version that you can kind of look at to get an idea of what it's supposed to look like in the end. And then we've got a Word doc version where you can put in your own company information and really customize it the way you want to for your clients. And finally, Ted talked earlier about the importance of things like webinars and lunch and learns, and we really encourage you to do these kind of events for your own clients. Again, that one-to-many conversation is not only a great way for you to save time, but for you to be able to reach as many people as possible. And so we've got the client pitch deck, which is very visual. We've tried to make it as visually appealing as possible. And again, you can go ahead and show this to your clients. Just literally stick your logo onto a few of the slides, and all of the work is done for you. And finally, for those of you who really want to get all of the assets in the playbook in one go. We've created a zip file, and we encourage you, once you get the playbook, to just go ahead and get started. Download the zip file, see what kind of white papers and emails and diagrams and everything to send out to your clients, and go ahead and show them the benefits that you'll get from adopting a cloud-to-cloud backup service. So let me see real quick. So I think, Ted, I'm going to hand back to you the keyboard and mouse controls. Let me figure out. Okay.
Okay, Niraj, thank you. Got it. Okay. Let's see here. What I want to do is time for your questions. So let's see here. Just a quick comment before we take questions from the audience. Just a couple questions to answer how eFolder prices and packages CloudFinder on a wholesale basis. So there was a question, I think Thomas asked a question about retail pricing. So as Neeraj covered, retail pricing, it's up to you. Some partners take services that eFolder sells them and they bundle them into a larger managed services bundle, and so the price per user per month is not transparent. It's bundled all in. You could do it that way, or as we also mentioned, you could sell it as an unmanaged service or as a managed service with extra features and capabilities wrapped around it. But your wholesale pricing, the way it works is eFolder starts with 100. You can get started with 100, as few as 100 users per month, which is $175 a month, and your wholesale cost per user is $1.75. And so, whether you're selling it as an unmanaged service or as a fully managed service, the margin opportunity is substantial, and the wholesale price simply goes down over time as you grow your base. If you want to go experience CloudFinder for yourself, you can go to cloudfinder.com and key in this username and password here, and simply go give the product and service a tour on your own. It's time for your questions. Let me go here, Charles. So just to repeat something we always cover at the beginning, we will make copies of the slides and the content available to everybody who attended, and we will be sending out an email that links you to the actual CloudFinder client awareness playbook. So, questions. Anything's fair game. Sales and marketing, questions about CloudFinder, suggestions we have for pricing and packaging. Don't be shy. Okay, so Richard wants to know whether CloudFinder can restore data themselves, and can this be a replacement for an archiving solution? Let's take those questions one at a time. And the answer is yes. You can delegate administrative access to the client, to an admin at the client. And absolutely, CloudFinder is a solution that, though it doesn't have all of the features one would expect in an email archiving solution, it definitely archives all mail and is a more affordable way, for instance, to layer on archiving on top of Office 365 or Google Apps, as an example. Sorry, I fast forwarded right past the slide I wanted to show, but let me get there. Sorry. But yeah, so you can, I mean, today, if you're trying to add, as an example, Exchange Online Archiving from Microsoft to any Office 365 plan that's below E3, it costs $3 a month. But that's not going to cover SharePoint Online. It's not going to cover OneDrive for Business. And with one service offering from eFolder, the Cloud Finder SKU to protect Office 365, you can protect all of that data, and your wholesale cost starts at $1.75 wholesale and goes down from there. So, yeah, I mean, it's a great way to archive email, but not all the features like legal holds and that sort of thing are available in the service yet today. So just that's one caveat. Yeah, so Jordan asks, I'd like to share this with another member of my team. Will the recording of the presentation be made available? Yes, it will be. It'll be archived on the eFolder YouTube channel, and we often send out a WMV version recording of the webinar in addition. Other questions? Sales and marketing, how-to topics on marketing. I saw somebody raise their hand instead of maybe asking the question. Let me see here. Okay. Okay. So let me just go to the Q&A log real quick. Close this. Okay, so Rick wants to know, will this archive email off a standard PC using Outlook? And the answer is no. We are doing the archival task from the cloud application into the eFolder Cloud Finder service. So provided that mail traversed an Office 365 service, then we can archive the mail. But we're not archiving from the local mail store. Ryan wants to know, why is cold calling not very effective? And we have a lot of experience with this. We have a 70-person sales force, and I mean the basic idea is what you want to do. I mean, cold calling is, you're only a certain percentage of people in your target market are going to be ready for a conversation at any one given moment. So between people's busy schedules, gatekeepers, receptionists, assistants, voicemail, and our generally distracted lives, you're not going to reach decision makers. On the other hand, if you get somebody who downloads a white paper, and you can call them within minutes or hours of when they downloaded a white paper from your website, and you say, hey, I see you downloaded a white paper on XYZ topic. Can you tell me why you're interested in that topic? That's going to be a much more productive conversation than calling somebody out of the blue. And so, that's our philosophy. I think Robin Robbins, who we're a huge fan of, talks about kind of what she calls it, walk around prospecting, or I forget the exact term. I mean, we spend a lot of time in LinkedIn, and there's nothing wrong with using tools like LinkedIn, like data.com, to very intelligently prospect in your target market. But the next question is how do you elicit their interest? How do you elicit their interest? How do you get them? How do you get them to engage with you? And that's really where all of these different content assets come in. So let's try to tackle it. So that's why I think cold calling doesn't work. It's just a matter of return on time and return on investment. Justin wants to know, what product bundles are you seeing MSPs have success with in the SME market? Generally speaking, we are seeing services like backup, business continuity, and security become table stakes in the managed services market. So it's not optional for clients to elect to have antivirus running on all managed workstations and servers and laptops. It's not electable whether you go with BDR or not. It's a standard offering. Backup is not a choice that you can opt out of. So those are some of the things we're seeing. And then in areas like file sync and share and collaboration, the market's younger. Cloud-to-cloud backup, the market is younger. I mean, none of us would recommend that you went out tomorrow and told every single one of your Office 365 clients, you must take this service. I think over time, what we will see as more and more MSPs build up a substantial portion of their client base on Office 365, you will want a control plane for all of that cloud content. You will want the ability to provide agile restores, backups, file discoveries, agile help desk services to actually discover where files have vanished to, helping clients in the context of a legal discovery hunt down a batch of emails. We use Cloud Finder all the time. We have a 70-person sales organization, and we use the tool all the time to audit internal email use, and how email is being used, all those sorts of things. Anyway, those are some comments on bundling. Charles wants to know, the slide showed something about a pain point for a client. Please provide an example of an icebreaker. I think, Charles, an icebreaker is, if you move to the cloud and an employee leaves and they sue you 2 years later, will you still have their data? And in many cases, if anyone has Office 365 E3, below E3, and you don't have an email archiving solution in place, or you don't have something in place like Cloud Finder, the answer to that question is going to be no. And historically, when we had on-premise Exchange servers and BDR and backups of the Exchange environments, we had very robust retention and archiving and backups of mail for long periods of time. And we just need to make sure we're having the same levels of due diligence across all of these different various cloud applications that employees might be using. Bradley wants to know, are we going to actually send out a copy of the playbook to everybody who attended today? And the answer is yes. And with that, I think we're just about out of time. So I want to thank everybody for joining. We will be getting this playbook into your hands along with a copy of the recording and a copy of the slides. Thank you guys very much for taking the time to join us on today's eFolder Expert Series. Niraj, thank you for giving us a tour of the playbook, and we look forward to seeing everybody on the next eFolder webinar. This is Ted Hulsy, Vice President of Marketing at eFolder, signing off. Thanks, everybody. Take care now.
Thank you, everyone.